Today is a beautiful day. I think it's time for a hike, probably a small hike today, but first I have to make a stop. Can you guess what the stop will be? Let's find out. All right, this is the stop I was telling you about. This is Eli.
Hi, everybody.
Some of you may know him, actually. You're around kind of like all over the place.
Yeah.
Anyways, he happens to be in town. What are you in town for?
My
visiting?
girlfriend just moved here, actually.
Oh, just moved here?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So I might be back more often.
Wow. He's literally, well, today was 4 minutes away. I live by Central
it's kind
Park.
of amazing.
I don't know if you know where Central Park is.
No,
anyways,
really.
It's very close to you. So we're going to go on a hike. I'm not sure what this place is. It's called Deer Hollow. I think I've been there. I'm not sure, as usual. So we're going to find out. He's going to help me just in case I get lost too.
That's good, yeah.
To find my way back. So let's go. Feels good. I could just go by feeling. If it feels good, let's do it. Park right up here. Okay, here we are. I guess this is, Rancho San Antonio. We're trying to find Deer Hollow Farm. Guess we're here. That's Deer Hollow Farm. Got it?
Yeah.
You can be the navigator. Right. Looks like the right direction. Luckily, we're in August and not November.
Oh, really?
Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah. Luckily for them.
Lucky for that, right? That's huge. Do you see where it came out of? Huh? It's a very old school tractor. 1922. No tires, metal spikes for wheels. Huh, I don't think I knew this either. Deer Hollow Farm is operated by the city of Mountain View. It is managed as a historic homestead where all animals and garden products are used to support daily farm activities. Please do not disturb the animals in their home. They require a calm, quiet atmosphere. I require that as well. Lavender. All right, which one are you? A hen or a rooster? No comment? Anybody? What are you? A sheep or a goat? Good, very good answer. That's a sheep for sure. That's definitely a goat. Well, we made it
We made it.
to the top, but now what?
Well, at the top, all the views are the same.
Yeah, it's amazing. Okay, so here we are. We just had seems like a very long hike. Going up
Yeah.
seemed quick, and going down seemed like it took a long time. But it was very beautiful, as you already could see. So we're here with Eli, and some of you may have seen his face or you've seen his name, but you probably don't know anything about him. So that's what we're going to find out right now. So thank you for doing this. By the way.
Absolutely.
It's
My pleasure.
funny how this happened because I think I was emailing people asking for people to join the series, and a couple of people did, and then you reached out and you said, I'm in town, and it was just amazing that you were only like 3 minutes away. So that works out for us.
Yeah.
So let's first start off. Where do you live currently?
Currently, right now, so I live in the Boston area. I go to college just outside of Boston in Massachusetts, like the East Coast of the U.S.
Sweet. And he's in this area just visiting at the moment, and who knows what will happen in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell me first of all, your connection to, you said, I think on our walk, you're practicing in the Cambridge Zen Center.
Yeah, right. So I started practicing at the Open Meadow Zen Center.
Open Meadow.
Yeah, with Zen Master Bonhang Mark
Yes.
Houghton. And I've practiced a little bit more with the Cambridge Zen Center recently.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So how long have you been practicing Zen meditation? You already
Just
understand.
now. But I can say I've been practicing for about 5 years.
5 years, awesome.
Yeah.
So what was the journey that led you to meditation or Zen practice?
So it was kind of a long journey. I started out, I lived in the UK, in Wales. I grew up there. I lived there from when I was 3 to when I was 16. And then when I was 16, right in the middle of high school, I moved to the US. And that move kind of started this identity crisis. I started to really wonder, what am I? My family is American, and so I'd always been the American kid in Wales, and I'd got good grades. And then I moved, and my grades went down. I became...
So what was the reason to move to Wales?
The reason I originally moved there, my dad got a job there. And
Okay.
my parents thought it would be kind of a fun experiment for a few years. They thought they'd be there for 2 or 3 years.
Uh-huh.
And then they left 13 years later.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. So then you moved back.
Yes.
You were having some identity crisis.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
what
So
happened?
it was like my whole identity got flipped around. I used to identify as the American kid in Wales,
Yes.
and then I became the Welsh kid in the US. And so I started to wonder what made my identity, and it felt like I was only being defined by the people I was around.
Right.
So I started to wonder, like, what can I trust? What's like authentic inside? And then I found Alan Watts's philosophy, just kind of
Really?
coincidence
Was
online.
it a book or online?
Yeah, he has there's lots of his lectures just on YouTube. So I listened to those for a long time, and he talks a lot about Zen. So he talks about meditation. I started doing it a little bit.
So did you start learning on your own, or
He sort of
did you?
there's a couple like kind of guided meditation
He
things,
does?
or he
Okay.
gave a little bit of Zen teaching in his talks. And so I started meditating a little bit.
All
And
right.
then it took me a few months to work up the courage to look for a group. And I realized that there was this group. It was a 4-minute car drive from my house. Was
Wow.
Mark Houghton's group. Open
Wow,
Meadow.
I didn't know you were that close.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful area. I love
Yeah.
Open Meadow. Interesting. Okay. So,
So it
you
felt
went
like it
there.
was meant to be.
Right.
Yeah.
So you went there like on an intro night or something? Or?
Yeah. They taught me the forms, and I really connected with it.
I've been loving to do the series so far just to see how people got into practice, because it's always very different. But I think behind it all too, everybody eventually has this question, and sometimes it appears very young. Like for me, I felt it was young, and for some people it's very late. So do you have a daily practice that you do?
Yeah. So it's evolved and shifted a lot, but right now I'm getting up and doing 108 bows and then 25 minutes of sitting.
Okay.
Something like that. But I do chanting as well sometimes especially when I'm driving alone. I like to chant.
Yeah, practicing in the car, I think, is one of the most important practices. And on our hike, you were talking about Kilche. So if you don't know, Kilche is a longer retreat. So usually our retreats at most of our Zen centers are 1 day up to 3 days. Some of our Zen centers will have 1-week retreats. But a few parts of the world and the Quantum School of Zen, we have longer retreats. We call it Kilche. So in Providence Zen Center, it's usually 3 weeks to a month in the summer, and in the winter it's 3 months. So your first long retreat was where?
It was at the Providence Zen Center.
Okay.
So I lived at the Cambridge Zen Center. I took a gap year after college after high school. Between high school and college, I took a gap year.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, and so then I lived at the Cambridge Zen Center for the first few months of that.
Okay.
And then I decided I'm going to sit all of Kilche. So the longest retreat I sat at Cambridge was, I think, a 2-day retreat.
Yeah.
And then I decided I'm going to do the 90 days. So I went to Providence and I did it.
Wait, what year was this?
This was 2019.
Okay.
So this is when I met Jason for the first time.
Right. God,
Yeah, we sat.
2019.
That was when we weren't at the monastery. We were sitting.
Oh my gosh,
house,
right. They
yeah.
were doing some kitchen work or something in the monastery,
Right.
which was, well, that's another video. I'll talk about that. But it was very interesting practicing at the Zen Center. Wow, so the whole
Yeah.
90 days. So maybe what did you tell us your experience of that?
Yeah.
People have different experiences. I know, like some people are like, "Oh, I'll never do it again," or it was the best thing I've ever done, or like, what was your?
It was definitely in the middle between those two.
Which is good. So like
Yeah.
what? Like, yeah, tell us about it.
So the first couple weeks were just kind of hell. Like,
Oh, yeah.
so much pain in my legs, and I thought I would never make it
Oh yeah.
for most of the first week. And then it got easier. Just the physical pain disappeared. Then it started to get kind of like emotionally dark. I got into some strange places I'd never experienced in my mind.
Oh, yeah.
And then by the second month, maybe the middle of the second month, I started to really just get comfortable and felt very smooth. And I started doing more bows every day, which helped a lot.
So you were doing extra bows
Yeah.
in addition
I
to
was,
the morning bows. Okay.
right. I was squeezing in bows in all the breaks that I could.
Wow.
And that helped me a lot as well.
Right. Yeah, it's a powerful tool if you're ever finding your energy up or unbalanced. Bowing is a very powerful practice for that.
Right.
And what about the third month?
The third month was okay because I still was settled into it, but maybe the last 2 weeks got a lot harder because every day I was thinking, oh, I'm almost done.
I know, and people are planning what they're going to do and stuff like that. Wow. Yeah. So how was the 3 months living with people in the Zen Center situation like compared to the 3-month retreat?
Oh, it was so much harder living with people.
Living with
yeah.
people.
I just felt like I wasn't ready. It was the first place I'd lived outside of my parents' home, and yeah, the people there were very kind to me, but I just don't think I was ready in so many ways.
What do you mean, like by ready? Like, was it the expectation too much, or?
It was like kind of like the social skills I didn't really have. A lot of the people there were also kind of professionals, so they were out most of the time. Right. It was just kind of hard to connect with the people there socially, and I was a lot younger than a lot of the people there. I moved in when I was 18.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's good. I'm so glad you took advantage of it. Really.
Yeah.
Good for you. Yeah, I don't know, something about residential living. It's harder because one thing about retreats in Kilche is people are not talking.
Yeah.
I mean, they're talking sometimes, like maybe on break or something, or out in the woods, but most of the time, like, you don't talk.
Yeah.
So much doesn't happen when you close your mouth.
Right. And also having the same kind of steady circumstance is really helpful. Like, I think a lot of kind of confusion and emotions come up from where people are out at work and stuff like that.
Yeah, and having the schedule of the retreat too is very helpful too. My teacher always told me that the schedule is your teacher, which is a very interesting point. So we're talking about practice, we're talking about meditation, Zen. How's that affected your life? Like, is there any examples or anything you want to share that where you found this practice helpful in your everyday life situation?
Yeah, so recently I've had a lot of not crises, but kind of big changes in my life. Kind of helping my girlfriend move out here, and then also my roommate told me recently that he's moving out at the start of next month.
Wow.
So that's really put me on my toes. But I kind of had a similar change in housing maybe a year ago, and it's shown me this time how much I can sort of see how much easier it is for me to hold the emotions that come up with that situation and be able to to let go of it a little more. Yeah, so I guess it feels like I'm not as controlled by my emotions as I was a year ago, and I think practice is part of that, definitely.
Yeah, good. I mean, it sounds like your practice is clear. I talk about this a lot, about people think that sometimes your thinking or emotions will go away when you practice it. And then when they appear, right, they're like, wait, I'm supposed to be practicing. And then they try to get rid of it, and then it becomes a lot stronger, and then really starts controlling their life.
Yeah. I also would add that therapy has helped me a lot. It really gave me, like, I feel like kind of having a little bit of a better understanding of some of my karma and habits made it a lot easier to let go of them and to kind of connect with them in different ways. Yeah. Because it can be, I think, really easy to try to turn practice into a kind of therapy, or to like want some kind of experience because it's uncomfortable looking at your life and being with your life. So it really helps to have someone to help
to
with.
reflect off of.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for sharing that.
Sure.
Maybe before we go, since this is probably going to be a long video since we did the hike and all of that, any quotes, teachings, short stories you can leave with? Anything that's affected you,
Sure.
inspired you?
Yeah, sure. One quote that comes to mind is from Zen Master Wu Bong, and he said, we don't need any kind of special thing, a special teaching from someone, or some kind of special idea. What we need to do is cultivate the question, the fire that's already within us, and all the wisdom that we need is already there.
That's awesome. All right, so more important is like, how do we do that? So let's do that. Good. Well, thank you so much, Eli. It's been great to connect with you more, get to learn more about you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Share this amazing scenery today. It's a beautiful day here.
Yeah, thanks for showing me around.
Yeah, you're welcome. And we will see you all later.